Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for coming to testify. I would ask that our testifiers speak directly into the mic. I'm having a little trouble hearing you. As we sit here listening to your testimony and the questions being asked, perhaps this is for Mr. Stern and Ms. Berry, is the kind of hate that we're talking about today, whether it's anti-Jewish hate, sexual orientation hate crimes, anti-Hispanic, anti-Black, anti-Muslim, anti-Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, anti-Haitians, is this kind of hate learned? Mr. Stern?
Yes, but it also is not just that people are being polluted. Part of the challenge is that as human beings, we're sort of ordained, our brains function to see who's us and who's them. And sometimes the dehumanization and demonization of that becomes problematic in terms of particular groups. It can lead to genocide. It could lead to the types of hate crimes we're seeing. So I think that the more that we focus on that this is a normal human reaction, whether it's on politics too, the better able we're going to be able to handle situations like this. And to just piggyback on one thing that I agree and disagree with my friend the rabbi, I don't think on the campus we're going to totally dispel this with discipline. There are certainly places where you need to have things, the police come in and so forth, but that should be at the last result. The education should be the response to it. And one person I would suggest this committee hear from at some point is Michael Roth, who's Jewish at Wesleyan, who basically said, look, as long as you're not harassing, you're not intimidating, you're going to be okay you want to pitch a tent, and we're going to bring people in there to have conversations. To me, that's a much better approach in the long term.
I agree with you. And to the extent that this kind of attitude, and yes, there's human nature aspect to it, that maybe we're never going to be able to eliminate all forms of racism and those kinds of attitude. But it seems to me that education plays a role, and one must start young at teaching against the kind of hatred that we see around us. And as we sit here listening to anti-Jewish hate, it was not very long ago that we were actually watching videos of AAPI communities being attacked and even murdered, which led to the COVID-19 hate crimes legislation, which was a bill that I sponsored, and Senator Blumenthal's No Hate Act was included, which led to much better reporting, albeit it's still the lack of adequate reporting of all manner of hate crimes is recognized, and we can do better. And I'd like to do you agree, Mr. Stern, that we can do better in terms of educating at a much younger age about the impact of hateful rhetoric, and to do something more at an early age to address the learning of hate?
Yeah, I think we could do lots of things at the early age. I think also one of the things I put in my written testimony is the idea of bringing people, basically when they're graduating from high school, from different backgrounds together and sending them out to do a project for somebody else. There's some social psychology that suggests that may reduce bigotry. And on the campus itself, let me tell you, at Bard, I had a colleague who saw people spitting out words in a very hostile manner about Zionism, genocide, ethnic cleansing, anti-Semitism. She said, we're in a college. Why don't we teach about it? And she put together a course that helps students not only understand what these terms mean, but why people hear them differently.
So are colleges creating such courses to enhance the dialogue and discussion?
That's the thing that distressed me most over the summer. I saw a lot of reporting on what the new policies are going to be, and I get it, administrations don't want to get things out of control, but I would have loved to have seen what are the 20 new courses we're offering, what are the new hate studies programs that we're putting together. So when I do workshops with students and faculty and others, and they understand some of the brain science and social psychology about how we get into these, heated us versus them buckets, and you intellectually understand that, you're better able to then negotiate these issues.
In the little bit of time that I have left, I agree with you, and I hope that college administrators and leaders are listening to you. And even as we speak, in Springfield, Ohio, the Haitian community there is being targeted, and the town has been targeted by hate-fueled attacks and bomb threats, et cetera. In your studies, have you seen minority communities being targeted like this? And can we expect that there will be further escalation of hatred against the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, and maybe it will spread to other communities? Can you briefly respond?
Yeah, I am deeply concerned about anybody targeting a whole community, let alone with rumors, but you pick one.
Lies.
Yeah, lies, right? And you know what Mark was saying before too. You go and you stigmatize one entire group because of somebody, somebody that's perceived as part of that group, and bring hate. The problem to me, and this I don't have a solution for, is that hate has always worked in politics. Otherwise, politicians wouldn't use it. And I think that the more that we stand up together and say we're going to call it out, especially when it's from people on our side, the less likely we'll be able to see this type of rhetoric expand.
If I may,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm over my time.
Senator Cruz?